Now, pretty much, this is the go-to key, which I'm kind of concerned, a little scary. Then go ahead and spray and brake clean inside the intake. Now, if everything's right and everything's plugged in correctly, this should just kind of start up. All right, here we go. First try, didn't work. Welcome back, another LS swap new age video coming your way. As you guys saw in the last video, this little 5.3 that does not want to start. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the engine's just low on compression. I don't know if I did something wrong with the wiring harness. I just don't know. A little bit concerning because we want to hear this thing run and start, okay? That's the main priority right now. Because if the engine's bad, I need to know now so I can just start ripping everything out. And then obviously we got to repaint everything. It's a whole another 2-week process. So we need to figure out why this thing doesn't want to start. I know we got good voltage. I know we got grounds. Pretty much, I just don't know if something in the computer malfunctioned after we did the whole VATS deletes. I don't know if it's something here. I don't even know this the wiring harness isn't even good. Okay, I bought it off of Amazon for $100. But obviously, we just got to find something, and we need to find it now. I do wonder if we need to hook up the actual transmission wires, because I thought you would have to do it, especially if it doesn't see it if it's park or neutral, that it's going to start. So let's go ahead and use this. This is a 4L60 to 4L80 adapter harness that I got off Amazon as well. So hopefully this is all correct. So all you got to do is literally plug and play, and I don't know what this does. I think that's for reverse.
And just like that, it's plugged in.
All right, transmission plug is in. I also went ahead and put the actual ground that's supposed to go to the shifter for park or neutral to tell it, hey, we're good. Okay, so now it should start up. All we gotta do is spray some more brake clean and cross your fingers. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. Okay, I started getting desperate. I noticed there's no map, so I just hooked up a map. No map, so I just hooked up an IAT, an IAT, I'm pretty sure. But then I started looking around and noticed that I'm kind of an idiot. You guys see this? Does anybody know what this is? This is the ground for your coils and your injectors. Well, that's not hooked up. I want to say that's my problem. I feel like this is gonna just pop off. Ready? We're out of sauce. We're out of sauce. I think it had a little bit too much in there. Full of brake clean. Yes, that is exactly one of you. Look at that guy just popping him out of nowhere. How'd you like that? Scared you? That scared me. It kind of just popped right off. This is great. Now that's a good starting point. Now we just got to finish the entire build. Look at that. That's nice. That is exactly what I wanted to see. Has a big old gash in it, and I don't know what that's from. I kind of want to think it's a bullet that someone shot this transmission. I hope not. Let's go ahead and look underneath this bad boy and see if we can see anything. Okay, I think it was just something that smacked the pan. I can see where I'm looking. That's the only damage, and I did just move it back. Don't see anything underneath. That's gonna freak me out, and everything else looks fine. Hopefully everything is fine, because that would be a really big damper on the project if we gotta buy a transmission too. So let's go ahead and get this thing fixed and get this thing back on, because obviously I don't want anything from the bottom getting inside this transmission. That would be a no-no. Yeah, that is clearly something just perfectly poked through it. I did find one, or at least that one, for like 80 bucks, which ain't bad. But in the meantime, I'm still trying to figure out why this fuel pressure regulator is only building about 20 PSI, which I think I need about 55, especially on the LS engine. I want to say it's not out of fuel, which obviously would be the first thing I would check. I know I'm getting fuel all the way up to the rail. It's just not building past 20, which I don't know if it's because I have this just returning to a fuel to a gas can. That way it's at least bleeding off like it's supposed to. Maybe it's because I don't have this hooked up, which is like the vacuum port for it. I'm not too sure. I'm not fond of these, but we'll probably go get one of those, and we have made some progress. I put the dipstick in finally. I've ran some wires over there. All we gotta do now is hook up the key to the ignition for the ECU and the fuse block. And then for the starter itself, I just gotta figure out which wire actually turns everything on. So I'll just do that next. And then we just need to go to O'Reilly's and get that transmission pan. If anybody is trying to actually use the key and using it to the original wires that go to the starter, what you're gonna do is go find this little box right here underneath it. And there's gonna be a white with red striped, if you guys can see that right now. I just put a T in there and ran that wire straight to the starter. And now all you need is your trusty handy dandy key. Put it inside and your LS should start. But obviously my battery is dead, which kind of sucks. I need to get a battery charger, but everything else, that's done. Now all I gotta do is tee one more wire for the actual fuse block for the aftermarket for the LS parts. And then that's done there. Debating on where to put this B&M, I think it's a Pro Stealth shifter. I wanna say, I mean, if we put it here, it's super close to the front, but I mean, it's just an automatic. Or we can put it here where it's a little bit better of a reach. It's just kind of hard, especially since we are doing the S550 interior swap as well. So it's like it's gonna be temporarily, just so we can be able to at least drive the car around, and then whenever we're ready, we can pretty much, when we modify everything and we cut the hole in the S550 center console, we'll know exactly where the shifter is supposed to go. But for now, I think we're just gonna bolt to the floor somewhere easy, run the cable, hook it to the tranny, and she's ready to rock and roll. The transmission band is on its way, so we'll get that wrapped up tonight as well. And I will probably go ahead and put the lines in and get the cooler lines ran for the transmission cooler. And then I just got to figure out the whole fuel issue. Maybe just voltage, and that's why it's not cranking, but it's kind of weird. Well, I'm pretty much going to wrap up here. I still need to figure out what I want to do with these guys. If I want to just unhook everything from the wire harness and run it through that actual hole that used to be for the clutch cable, I could do that. It's not going to hurt me. It's just going to suck on doing every single thing I just did. But everything else is done. We finally put the alternator bracket on. Alternator's hooked up. I do have all the cables for the battery hooked up. So technically, if I turn the key, it should crank over and start. The only problem is I need to figure out why this bad boy is not properly working. As you guys can see, it's sitting here at 21, 22. And obviously, it should be at 55. But tomorrow, I'm going to go grab, I'm actually going to just charge this guy and see that'll work. And then obviously, I'll put this, mount that over here, and then my coolant hose should be here tomorrow. My belt's here tomorrow. The whole shebang should be here tomorrow. So all we gotta do is get a shifter cable mount. You guys know what I'm talking about, the selector gear. And then pretty much hook up the shifter, fill it up with fluid. We did get the new one. I hadn't put it on already. This one is junk, so we don't need that guy anymore. So this car should technically be ready to rock and roll tomorrow. If everything goes as planned. I know tomorrow is gonna be hot. It's gonna be like 103. I'm sick and tired of how sweaty and gross I am. I need my gloves, okay? Everybody that call them, you know, bitch mittens. Okay, there's a reason why. I don't want my hands looking like this. Like, seriously, look, see my nose? My nose is running. It was just awful. You understand? Look at that. You're just clean hand. I'm over here dirty as hell. This car should be technically running on the ground tomorrow if everything goes as well. Cross your fingers. And everybody that got a little upset about the clickbait, technically I didn't clickbait. You kind of heard it crank over. It just wouldn't start, and you guys saw why. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry. Leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.